Yesterday we did discuss about current object. That current object is very important. Current object will be using throughout ServiceNow. Will be using throughout ServiceNow. Okay. That current object will hold the field values on the form. Getting my point? Whenever you enter a field value, that will go and store in the current object. Okay. So you go to the, so let me just write today's topic, dictionary properties. Okay. So we are discussing today calculated value, reference, qualifiers, and attributes. That is the topic. First, we'll begin with the calculated value. So see, to understand this calculated value, reference, qualifiers, we should have an understanding of the current object. Current object will hold the form field values. If you want to set the field values on the form, you can use current object. If you want to set the field value on the form, you can use current object. Okay. Yesterday, that is what we have discussed. Current dot field name, it will give you the field value. Current dot get value field name, it will get the field value. Current dot get display value will get the display name of the field value. Current dot field name is equal to value means it will set the field value. Current dot set value field name comma value means it will set the field value. Current dot set display value field name comma value means it will set the display value. So as we understand about the current object, now we will understand about the calculated value concept. Yesterday we created a table, we created a field called display value. Display value. So I'm going to the custom incident form we created. This incident form, if you scroll down here, this is the field that I created. Okay. So what was our requirement? Number was actually our display name of the record. Later we made short description value as a display name. So what my client is asking, number, category, and short description. All these three values together should be shown as a display value. So first of all, I am going to the display name field. I created yesterday display name field. So I can directly go to this field by right clicking configure dictionary. I can directly go to that field. Instead of going to the table and opening the field, I can directly go to that field by right clicking and configure dictionary. Scroll down and click on advanced view. So here there is an option called calculated value. This checkbox. Okay. And remove these lines. Remove these lines. So now I am calculating the value here. Now I am calculating the value. So using caller value, current dot get display value u underscore caller value plus is a string plus current dot display value u underscore category plus plus current dot get value short description. So here I am using these dashes to separate the values. If I don't use this, what happens? Uday Gadiparthi software short description. So, see, if I don't use the separator, this is separator I'm using. Getting my point? So I calculated this value. Okay. So after calculating this value, what I am doing is, in place of this empty space, after return, in place of this empty space, I am keeping this line. Removing the empty single quotes. Okay. So this will be the display value. And after calculating it, you scroll down and make it as display. Getting my point? Just click on update here. Okay. So setting the display name of the display name field to true, changing the display value of the short description to false. Okay, fine. Now I selected caller as Uday Kishore Gadiparthi. Okay. Category as hardware. Configuration item I selected. Assignment group I am selecting here. Okay. Test record. Test record. Okay. Then what you will do? You will create the record. You will create the record. Now you see here, value is calculated. Kishore, hardware, and short description value. And it is showing as display name. You got my point? So for new record, you can see it is dashes, null dashes. If I show this to the employee, why is this coming like this? Something like that he will ask, right? So I don't show this field to employee. I'll hide this field from the form. If I hide this field from the form, he can't see that, right? I'm removing it from the form. It is there in the table. It is not there on the form. The field is there on the table, but not there on the form. Always remember, guys, if there are 100 fields on the table, no need to show 100 fields on the form. Whatever the fields that we need on the form, only those fields you can show it on the form. Remaining fields, you can keep it on the table. We can use it for different purposes. Now I am not showing the display value field on the form. It is there in the table. Still we are calculating it. Value is stored in the display name field. Okay. Okay. Save this one. Now you can see the display name of this particular record is Uday Kishore Gadiparthi software test record 1. Did we achieve the client requirement? What did we do? First, we calculated the field value. Then we made that field as display name. We made that field value as display name of the record. If you go to the user account, user record, user is a table, guys. Sys_user is a table where all the user accounts will be stored. If I open any user account, let us take I am opening Naresh Gaud user account here. In the Naresh Gaud user account, so Naresh Gaud, both two values. Where is it stored? So in the first name Naresh is stored. In the last name Gaud is stored. So where is Naresh Gaud stored? There is a field in the back end. In the user table, there is a field in the back end. In that field, value is calculated. And it is showing the full name here as a display value. You got my point? So right click, show XML. So there is a field called name. In that name field, he is calculating the value. He is combining first name and last name together. He is combining the first name and last name together. And he is showing that value as a display value. Got my point? Here, is there any place where Naresh Gaud is stored in one field? Naresh is actually a first name, Gaud is actually a last name. In the back end, there is a field called a name field. In that field, it is calculating, it is combining first name and last name. And a name field is made as display name of this particular user table. Getting my point? Clear? Similarly, in our form as well, we calculated a field value based on caller category and subcategory. Sorry, caller category and short description. We made that as a display value. Without current object, can we do this? Without current object, can we do this? So we won't be able to do this without current object. Okay. So this calculated value is very rarely used. Very rarely used. But current object is used many places. However, as I am discussing dictionary properties, I am explaining the calculated value as well. However, it is not important. Okay. So you understand about the calculated value, right? Now we will understand about the reference qualifiers, which is very, very important. I'm iterating it, which is very, 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 very important. Okay. These reference qualifiers are used to restrict the data in the reference and list type of fields. Reference qualifiers are used to restrict the data in the reference and list type of fields. So here in the form, you tell me what is reference type of field, what is list type of field. So can you just ping in the chat that what are reference type of fields on the form? What are the list type of fields on the form? Magnifying glass, wherever you see this magnifying glass, this is a reference field. So where did you hide your talent so far? You are a diamond in the earth. It's time to showcase your talent, man. Okay, the magnifying glasses ones is actually a reference fields. Wherever you see this lock icon, these are actually list type of fields. Okay. Here, this is referencing users. This affected caller is referencing users. This caller is also referencing users. This configuration item is referencing configuration items. This assignment group is referencing groups. This watch list is referencing users. This watch list is referencing users. This work notes list is referencing users. This watch list is also referencing users. Okay. Getting my point. So whenever I click on this magnifying glass, how many users I'm able to see? You tell me. How many users I'm able to see? Total 876 users I'm able to see. Here also I'm able to see 876 users. Okay. See, that we'll discuss separately, Vamsi. Okay. That we'll discuss separately. Okay. Well, whenever I click on this magnifying glass, I'm able to see 876 users here. Whenever I click on this magnifying glass, I'm able to see 876 users here. Okay. So whenever I click on this magnifying glass, I'm able to see configuration items here. There are 3016 configuration items I'm able to see here. Whenever I click on this magnifying glass, I'm able to see 186 groups here. Okay. So whenever I click on this magnifying glass, I'm able to see 876 users here. So here also I'm able to see 876. Okay. So in the user table, total how many user accounts are there? 876. So how many user accounts are there? Those many user accounts you are able to see whenever you click on this magnifying glass. All the 876 user accounts you are able to see here. As per my client requirement, as per my client requirement, so I should not be able to see all the users here. I should be able to see only active users. Active users in the sense. So here you can just filter out. Active is true. Active is true. So with the active users, how many user accounts are there? 855. 855 user accounts are active. Only when I click on this magnifying glass, I should be able to see only 855 user accounts. Only active members I should be able to see. I should not see inactive members. So now I am able to see active members and inactive members. So then what I have to do? So here in the affected caller field, I have to restrict inactive members. So what did I mention here? The reference qualifiers are used to restrict the data in the reference and list type of fields. So here in the affected caller field, I have to restrict the users to only active users. Then right click, go to configure dictionary. Reference specification tab. You have to go to reference specification tab. Okay, you can see reference qualifier condition. Whatever the condition you kept here, same condition you will keep here. Active. Okay. Now I am clicking on this magnifying glass. So now you see how many users I'm able to see. Only active users I'm able to see it or not. Now I'm able to see only active users or not. Okay. Well, here also in the color field also, I should be able to, now I am able to see active users and inactive users both here. Here also I should be able to see only active users. Then what I have to do, right click, configure dictionary, configure dictionary. Okay. Here, condition, active, comma. So now when I click on this magnifying glass, I am able to see only active users or not. We'll go to the watch list field. When I click on this magnifying glass, how many users I am able to see? 876. That means that includes both active and inactive users. So I want to restrict it to only active users. Right click, configure dictionary. Active true. Okay. Here also I'm able to see active and inactive users. I want to make it to only active users. Right click, configure dictionary. I'm able to see only active users. So I'm able to restrict the data or not, the reference and list type of fields. Okay. And in the affected color field, I should see only HR departments and active members. HR departments and active members. Here also HR department and active members. So go to the, so first of all, we'll see that active users with HR department. Use this filter option, use end operator. Department is HR. Okay. So how many user accounts are there with HR department? 27 user accounts. So whenever I click on this magnifying glass, I should be able to see only 27 user accounts. HR departments with active users. So right click, configure dictionary, go to the reference qualifier condition, and whatever the condition that you keep, same condition you will keep here. I'm using end operator. Department is HR. Okay. Now I will be able to see only HR department users. Now when I click on this magnifying glass, I'm able to see only 27 user accounts. So similarly, I want to restrict caller values also active users with HR department. You will mention here department is here. Okay. Now whenever I click on this magnifying glass, you see only 27 user accounts. To restrict the data in the reference fields and the list type of fields, we will use reference qualifiers. Okay. So in the reference qualifiers, we have three types of reference qualifiers, guys. Simple, dynamic, and advanced. Simple, dynamic, and advanced. If it is a fixed condition, then you will write a simple reference qualifier. The fixed condition is fixed. If it is not a fixed condition, you will write a dynamic reference qualifier and advanced reference qualifier. Dynamic reference qualifier and advanced reference qualifier requires scripting knowledge. Scripting knowledge. Okay. Both requires scripting knowledge. So did we start scripting? Not yet, right? Okay. So we will be discussing dynamic reference qualifiers and advanced reference qualifiers in coming sessions. But I'll give you some examples. So try to understand them. In which case and all we will use simple reference qualifier, in which case and all we'll use dynamic reference qualifier and advanced reference qualifier. First, now I am creating a dynamic reference qualifier. First, let me explain the requirement. Then I'll explain about the dynamic reference qualifier. See, caller and affected caller can never be the same. Here you are able to select Uday Gadiparthi name here. So Uday Gadiparthi name should be restricted in the caller field. Suppose you selected Bill Tutor or someone else here. Let's say HR department users, right? Manish. So you selected Manish here. Same Manish should be restricted in the caller field. You should not be able to select Manish here in the caller field. That means whatever the value that you selected in the affected caller, that value should be restricted in the caller field. Whatever the value that you selected in the caller field should be restricted in the affected caller field. So that means you have to restrict the caller value. Caller value is not always the same, right? If it is the always Uday Gadiparthi, then we can select the name is not Uday Gadiparthi, like that we can keep condition. So here you can select any caller name. Getting my point? Caller name is always not the same, right? You are understanding? It is not a fixed query. Earlier, active users with the department HR is a fixed query. Getting my point? Suppose if I select Uday Kishore Gadiparthi, Uday Kishore Gadiparthi value, Uday Kishore Gadiparthi is not a HR department user. We set the default value. Okay. So let us take Nageshwar. Nageshwar value we selected here. Same Nageshwar value should be restricted here in the caller field. Let us say you selected Manish here. You selected Manish here. Manish value should be restricted here. Whatever the value that you selected, that value should be restricted here. Getting my point? It's not a same query. It's not a same query. If it is the same query, what we will do? We'll go to the caller field. We'll go to the caller field. So let us say if it is Manish, guys, right click, configure dictionary, going to the caller field. If it is a fixed query, what we will do? Caller is not Manish. Except Manish, all records will be shown. What if I select Nageshwar? Nageshwar values also should not be shown in the caller, right? Nageshwar value also should be restricted in the caller field, right? So then what I will do? And na name is only Manish value will be restricted in the caller field. What about Nageshwar? What about others? Then this simple reference qualifier will not work dynamically. That is where we have to use advanced reference qualifier or dynamic reference qualifier. Now I'll show you. Now I am going to create a dynamic reference qualifier. To create a dynamic reference qualifier, you have to go to the application navigator or filter navigator. Just type dynamic filter option. Dynamic filter option. To the dynamic filter option. Create a new dynamic filter option. Okay. Strict affected caller value. So available for reference qualifier. Select this checkbox. And field type will be reference. Okay. Reference table will be user table. User table. Write that condition. Okay. That condition should always be in the string. System ID not is equal to current object. I am using current object. Current dot u underscore affected underscore color. Okay. System ID is equal to. So that means what I am telling is except what is there in the affected color, show everything. Except what is there in the affected color, show everything. So I am just creating a dynamic filter option. Now you go to the color field. Go to the color field. So here you have to use dynamic reference qualifier because we have created a dynamic filter option, right? Scroll down, click on advanced view. Okay. Dynamic reference qualifier. Restrict affected color value. Update this one. So I am selecting Manish name here. Okay. Same Manish name, I should not be able to select here. What is it telling? I'm typing Manish. Manish name appearing here. Restricted or not? Restricted or not? Okay. So now I haven't selected Manish name here. Now I should be able to see Manish name here. Am I able to see Manish name now? So I'm selecting Nageshwar name here. Same Nageshwar name I am trying to select here. Is Nageshwar name appearing here? Because I'm restricting here in the color field, whatever the value is there in the affected color, that value I am restricting in the color field. So what did I do? I created a dynamic filter option. So field type will be reference field. The table referencing will be sysuser table. The condition is this one: system ID not is equal to affected color. Except affected color, show all the values. So except affected color value, show all other values. That is how I restricted. Same condition, what I do, I'll take it out. I directly go to the color field. I directly go to the color field. So this time I'm using advanced reference qualifier. In the advanced reference qualifier also we'll use the same script. Whatever we write it in the dynamic reference qualifier, same condition is reflected here. Whatever we wrote here, same condition is reflecting here or not? Same condition is reflecting here or not? It is adding JavaScript colon. So JavaScript colon system ID not is equal to. The condition is in the string. So this affected color value is dynamic, right? That is why I did not keep it in the strings. Getting my point? System ID not is equal to affected color. See, automatically I created a dynamic reference qualifier. It converted as advanced reference qualifier. So in the organizations, dynamic reference qualifiers are nowhere used. They use either simple reference qualifier or advanced reference qualifier. 99.9999% they don't use dynamic reference qualifiers. They either use simple reference qualifier or advanced reference qualifier. See, whatever the condition that I wrote, same condition I written, right? Why do I need to create dynamic filter option and add the dynamic filter option in the dynamic reference qualifier? Instead of that, directly I can write that condition here, right? Getting my point? So here, because of these default values, we set the default values, right? Both the values are appearing as same as I kept the default values. So we have to remove the default values for these two. Okay. So I am selecting Manish here. I am trying to select Manish name here. Will it show? No. So now you can see I am selecting Manish name here now. It will appear Manish name. Manish name I am selecting here in the affected color. What I did is first I selected the color, later I selected the affected color. Then same condition I have to write it in the affected color also. In the affected color, what should I write? Show all the values except what is there in the column. Getting my point? Go to the affected color field. We'll use advanced reference qualifier directly. So I did use current object, guys. Current dot u underscore color I have used. current.u_affected column. I'm using advanced reference qualifier. So if you want to, there is already a condition, right? There is already a condition, right? So if you can also append the condition as well. Something like this one. Active is true. Department is HR and system ID not is equal to caller system ID. Okay, for now I am removing this one to make you understand better. JavaScript colon. Should have removed this default value also. I am selecting Manish here. Same Manish I am able to select. I am trying to select here. Is Manish name appearing? No. Then I am trying to select Manish name first now here. Manish name is now appearing here. I am trying to select Manish name here. Is Manish name appearing here? Likewise, you will restrict it using reference qualifier. This is actually a condition is dynamic here. The condition is dynamic. The condition is not always the same. Then I have used advanced reference qualifier. So similarly here, I told you. So whenever we select a group here, only group member should appear here. Only group member should appear here. What I told you, this requirement you can achieve it using dependent values is what I told you, right? This requirement also you can achieve it using advanced reference qualifier. This requirement you can also achieve it using advanced reference qualifier. So it is also restricting the data only, right? Whenever you select the group, only that group members I have to restrict it. By default, I will be able to see 876 users. I should restrict it to only the group members. Then we can also achieve it using advanced reference qualifier as well, right? Getting my point? So for that, we need scripting knowledge. For that, we need scripting knowledge. If I write it something, you will get confused and you will be thinking about it. What is this? How did he write it? He didn't teach me about it. Something like that you will be thinking. So instead, if you wait, I'll again explain about the advanced reference qualifier in detail in coming sessions once the scripting is completed. Okay. Then you will understand it better. So now you understand about the current object and what is reference qualifier and how many types of reference qualifiers. If you go through the interview questions, you will be able to understand it better. Okay. Fine. Okay. Now the last one, attributes. These attributes are used to change the field behaviors. Attributes are used to change that field default behaviors. Okay. What is the default behavior? So here, if you see watch list field by default, you will get lock icon, this add me icon. So whenever you click on this one, it will add my name. So by default, when you create a watch list type of field, you will get this lock icon as well as you will see add me icon. So I want to remove this add me icon. Okay. I will have to add an attribute. So for those attributes, you can go to dictionary attributes. These many attributes are there. You don't have to learn every attribute, guys. There are lots of attributes. There are around 100 or 300 around attributes are there. So remembering all of them is not so easy. If you get any requirement, usually you don't get any requirements on attributes. You get any requirement to change the field behavior, just go through this document. Just go through this document and identify which attribute is helpful to change your field behavior. Okay. So for our requirement to remove this add me icon, there is an attribute called no add me. So if present or true, hides the display of the add me icon that appears to the certain field such as watch list field. So if you use this attribute, watch list, go to configure dictionary. On advanced view. So there will be a property called attributes. So this is actually a attributes property. We have already attributes. Some of the attributes are already available. If some of the attributes are already available, use comma separated and add our attribute. No add me. And update this one. So here in the watch list field, you are hiding the add me icon. Is there any add me icon here? I'm able to hide, right? Okay. So now here, okay. The watch list field, when I click on the lock icon, here I'm able to see email option, where I can also enter email address as well. I want to remove this email option. So that email option, you can remove it using no email, no underscore email. Use comma separated, no email. So if I click on this lock icon, you see email option, it is hidden. It is hidden. So likewise, if you want to change the field default behavior, so similarly, guys, you tell me here. So these are actually suggestions. In the suggestions, you are able to see name, email address. So I want to see the name, email address, and location, department, and mobile number also. So in this user record, the user record has name, email, location, department also, right? So first name, last name, email, location, department, manager, these are details, right? So in the suggestions, I want to show those details as well. Okay. One class lo unnanu. Okay. So well, guys, I have to use an attribute called ref underscore AC underscore column. You can also type here. So ref underscore AC list of separated names separated by same. semicolons. Okay. So this is used how many column values you want to show in the suggestions. Okay. You can pick this attribute. Go to the affected color, configure dictionary. Comma separated. Use this attribute. So here field 1, I just want to show first name, last name. See, this first name is a field that is there in the user table. Okay. Email, semicolon, location, environment, run. First name, last name, email address, location, department, and mobile numbers. These people don't have mobile number, looks like. So in the suggestions, I'm able to show all the different values, right? Earlier, I was able to see only first name and email. Sorry, full name and email. Now I'm able to show first name, last name, full name. See, full name, first name, last name, email, location, department, and mobile phone as well. So I'm just changing the field behavior using attributes, guys. Okay. Here, the last final one. Here we can see how many options are there. None is also an option, guys. None, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I want to remove this none option. I want to remove this none option. So go to right click and configure dictionary. You can see in the choice list specification, drop down with none is there. I have to select drop down without none. So drop down without means it is asking to set the default value. So here you set the default value. We already set the default value as new, right? Then it is fine. So then, so that what happens? None option will be removed. So is there any none option now? So likewise, we can remove the none option from the fields in the choice fields. Okay. So these are actually about dictionary properties, guys. In tomorrow's session, we are going to understand about child tables and dictionary properties. Sorry, dictionary overrides concept. Okay. So we are able to understand, right? So the way we created the incident form, ServiceNow company has also created the incident form. Getting my point? They created a table in the database. The way we created. The way we designed the form, they designed the form. The way we created the views, they created the views. The way we created the view roles, they created the view roles. The way we made the field mandatory, they made the field mandatory. Whatever they have done, similarly, same, we are actually developing it, guys. Okay. Getting my point? So we can also develop our own form as well. Let us say, if you want to create a separate table to store all the employees' details. Okay. So these are user accounts. Employees details will be stored in the HR profile table. That is actually comes under HRSD application. So I think I've installed HRSD in my instance. There is a table in database. I think I didn't install. I didn't install. Okay. Table name is incorrect. Looks like SN underscore HR underscore core underscore profile. So here all the employees will be stored. Employees details will be stored. So including your date of birth, your male or female, everything will be stored here. This comes under HRSD. It doesn't come under ITSM. You can see here this HR profile number, your user account. So Mr. or Mrs. or something, first name, middle name, last name, gender, male or female. For user account, gender is not required. So are you married or single? Okay. So where did you born? What is your date of birth? Your nationality? Employment start, employment end. When did the job started, job ended? Are you a full-time employee or contract employee? So did you complete the probation period? So this is actually HR profile. HRSD will be managed from this particular tables. This is also a table in the database. This is also a table in the database. Okay. So your employee's number, notice period. So off-board type, voluntary termination or involuntary termination, immediate involuntary termination, retirement. So location type, okay, office-based, remote, manager. So every details you can see contact information. So your contact details. This is called HR profile. User account is different, HR profile is different. Okay, this comes under HRSD. So we are discussing ITS. Okay. Table name incorrect I typed. So if you want to create a table something like this, you can also create it. See, did they use any other type except the field types which we used? This is a string type. HR number will be automatically populated. Like our number populated, right? Automatically. This number will be populated automatically. Huh? So this is a reference field, you all know. This is a choice field. This is a string field, string field, string field, choice field, true or false type field. This is date type field, string field, reference field, choice field. Any other type field, extra type field they used, you tell me here. I think they used string type field encrypted they have used. Encrypted means they are actually hiding the password. Did they use any other fields apart from this field? All are same, right? Mostly 99, 100% they have used the fields that we used. They are not using any extra fields. Commonly, we use only these type of fields. So system ID will be generated. System ID minus one means new HR profile. New HR profile. See, concept, I told you, right? Whatever the concepts that we are discussing, that is useful throughout all the applications. System ID is minus one in HRSD also for new records. Field types also same in HRSD, it is same. Form design also it is same in the HRSD. If you get any requirement, any opportunity in HRSD or CSM, please feel free to take. Don't get afraid. Don't be afraid to take that opportunity. Because I don't have experience. I have only experience in ITSM. You know what, guys? You are learning technical things here more than theoretical stuff. Getting my point? Whatever the concepts that we are explaining here, all are useful in every application because every application is built using tables. Without table, there is no concept in ServiceNow. Even HRSD is also built from tables only. Now you understand, right? Even if you go to CSM, customer service management also is built using tables only. They'll create a table in the customer service management. They'll design the form. They'll create these type of fields. They'll use form design, they'll create the views, view rules, sections. They also use dictionary properties. They also use data lookup rules, assignment rules. They use everything, whatever is there already in service. These concepts, whatever we are discussing, is useful across all the platform, all the applications in ServiceNow. Okay. So any questions from anyone, guys? Why the strength is less today?